Hi, friends. So, if you're watching this video today, then that means that you're already part of my ecosystem, part of my tribe. So, I would like to cut all the noise and show you very, very quickly in the next 15 minutes how you can master the art of investing. But before you master the art of investing, you must know what really matters, and we must cut all the noise for you. So, in these next 15 minutes, I would like to give you what really matters. Hope you're ready. So, friends, while in this investing journey, you have to move from knowing to doing. So, today you will watch this video and know a lot of things. But the question really is whether you're able to execute, whether you are able to do. That's the real game of investing. Many people keep attending master classes, keep attending videos, keep watching new sessions, but then they're not able to execute. So, what is it which really matters to you when it comes to execution? There is no problem of information anymore. It's all the lack of execution which is currently hampering people. So, what really matters in investing? Let's check that out, right? So, investing requires number one, patience, right? You must have heard this. The second thing is skill. The third thing is behavior. If I were to tell you that what matters most is the behavior, because this includes patience, but also if you want to execute your skill, the knowledge, your strategy, then behavior is the most important. Without the right behavior, you will not be able to execute the right strategy. Next, what are the big myths currently you are going through? Just picking the right stocks will make me rich. This is what most people think. But is that true? The truth, what matters is stock selection. What matters is the entry level. What matters is where to exactly add. Because if you just have a 2% allocation in a stock and then you never add more to it, then chances are that you will never win. You'll become a jack of all trades, master of none. And we all know what happens to a jack of all trades. The other thing which matters is whether you're exiting. We all know what has happened to us when uh, we have taken our losses to 20, 30, 40% even. And we all know what happens to us when we don't exit the stocks which are already made us 40, 50% return, right? So what really is important is not just stock selection, but knowing where to enter, add, and exit. So that means that just by tips, by stock selection, you will not be able to become rich. You have to learn this trick. You have to learn behavior. You have to learn this art and implement it in a seamless manner. But execution, my friends, now requires something else. It means that you have to implement the right strategy and you have to have the right behavior. And without the right behavior, even the best strategy of yours will definitely fail. So, why are you not making money right now? Let's understand this. This is where the crux is. This is where I want to today concentrate on. So, I've identified these 11 points to point out where you might be failing in terms of making money. There is too much noise in our mind, friends. What's happening is we are not able to understand who we are. We are not even making a strategy. We are not then following a strategy as well. Firstly, are we following one strategy or are we mixing too many things? Are we identifying who we are, whether we are a long term investor or we are a short term investor? What is our time horizon? What kind of bandwidth does my work allow me? How am I naturally as a person? Are we asking all these questions? Many of us are not even making a strategy, forget about following that, but we're too egoistic in even making the right strategy. And then once you make the right strategy, you need to follow it as well. But that is the problem. Whenever we make a strategy, a lot of other things come in, lot of doubts come in, lot of no clarity zones come in. So we are not able to actually seamlessly execute what we thought we would. So that is where alignment of thoughts, words, and actions come in. A person who can align his thoughts, words, and actions will become a magnet to success. Conflict between your nature and strategy would be one thing which is the most problematic for most people. Have you identified who you are? And are you making a strategy in alignment with that? What do I mean by this? I mean that you think that Warren Buffett is the only way to make money, long term money. But that might not be true because, um, yes, you might pick up a lot of things from what Warren Buffett has taught. But in terms of strategy, where to enter, where to add, where to exit, you may follow many, many people who've done it for a longer period of time, made more money than Warren Buffett by implementing a strategy in the stock markets. Why do we know Warren Buffett? Because Buffett already had an insurance business, and because of that, he had a lot of cash available. And for him, even 15-20% return would be good enough. But there are people like Jesse Livermore, Stanley Druckenmiller. They have actually made more than 40% return in the stock market CAGR per annum for many, many years, for more than 30-40 years in the stock markets. So, um, Warren Buffett is not the only person you can follow. There are many other people. Understand who these people are, whether their strategy, their mindset resonate with yours. So, lack of an entry, addition, and an exit system. This is really the case which is a problematic one for you. Not having a repeatable system, not having a system which will take you and serve you for the next 20-30 years. Not understanding opportunity cost. You are currently investing in the market and where you show a patience, but patience can be very bad when you show at the wrong place. When you are in deep losses, patience might really cost you, because at that point when your stock is not performing well, there might be 4 5 other stocks which move up by 40-50%. So the question is, why have you not moved out of your existing stock, which was only giving you negative return, and you had to wait for 1 or 2 years for return to come? And in the meantime, you could have earned 40-50% in some of the other stocks which were making money. So you need to understand opportunity cost. Not being patient with your winners and you're more patient with your losses. Your winners go to 20%, 15% return, 20% return. You say, oh, let me book profits. Let me book and shift to some other place. But you're not patient with your losses. Your losses are the ones which are actually biting you. You must come out early from them. But what you are actually doing is exactly the opposite. You're bearing more of loss. Your loss is now 10% goes to 15%, 20%. You say, oh no, way, issues. One day it will come up. And that one day takes too long and you get tired and sell it off later at a 30-40% loss. That is where we have to change our mindset. Over diversification, we diversified too much. We have 30-35 stocks. Tell me something, friends, can you even monitor 30 to 40 stocks? It's it's a stupid thing to even think about it. Nobody can, even I cannot. So what can be done about this? Don't maintain 30-40 stocks. Maintain 10 to 12 stocks, and that's enough. You have to do deep research into this, and you have to believe in your story, and that is where the major edge will come. A jack of all trades, master of none never wins. And what's happening is, because you have 30-40 stocks, even if you research what will happen, so it completely demotivates you, because overall your allocation is very, very small into each stocks. And uh, even if you do some research, even you if you go deep, monitor well, nothing is going to happen. Under diversification, you put a lot of money in a few stocks, one or two or three stocks, and that's it. That's the only portfolio you have. That's a very, very incorrect thing to do, because investing is all about managing your emotions. Guess what? When you are over invested or over allocated into a few stocks, you will never be able to keep your emotions sane. So your duty in investing is actually to keep your emotions sane, so that your logic doesn't get clouded. And logic is the most important thing when it comes to investing. You should never panic, you should never react to situations. And if you keep reacting to these emotional spaces which keep coming in, then you will not be able to make money. Final point here in the problems currently why you're not making money is the problem of exit. You are not exiting on time. You must exit when the loss is small. You must exit when your system tells you to exit. The problem is that most of us have not created a system. How much loss will you be able to bear? How much loss, even from the top, let's say you make 40-50%, how much the stock has to fall that you will get out of the stocks? Have you created that system, that repeatable system, when to enter, when to add, and when to exit? Because if you don't exit, the chances are that you, in mid cap and small cap space, you might not be able to make a lot of money as well. Because uh, mid cap and small caps are volatile, and you may not be able to ride those multi baggers for a long period of time if you don't have a system which works for you. You see, the point is that multi baggers, when in mid cap and small caps, whenever they're created quickly. And if you are not able to have a system and ride them, and panic at every downfall which comes, then you will not be able to make a lot of money. Small 10-15% is all you will be able to make, and nothing more than that. Finally, friends, follow the first time right approach. This is what I learned in my life, that it is better not to do trial error, because it will lead to more confusion and then you'll keep repeating that. You know, choose, learn, structure, and then execute. So, learning becomes a very, very important part of your entire execution structure. So, don't reinvent the wheel every time. Rather, I would urge you guys to buy the wheel and then add your own layer to it. So the most important thing, which the smartness which I did, is that I read a lot. I took a lot of courses, understood that what needs to be done. How should I be? Even to understand how should I be, I need to understand what all is available. So if you don't read that, if you don't understand what all is already available, how will you be able to add your own amazing layer to it? So, friends, I hope you've got a lot of perspective in this entire video which I've created. See, the important thing which I want to mention today is that you have to find yourself and you have to find your strategy and then execute that strategy. But the problem is, without the right behavior, you will not be able to execute that strategy. So, learning the right behavior is very important. So, I hope if you have resonated with me today, then do one thing. Just go to the description box of the video and just click on the link over there and watch a elongated video which is talking all about how to execute, how to find those multi-bagger stocks, how to enter, add and exit at the right time, and enjoy that session, go deep into it, because that is the crux of investing. So don't waste any time, click on that link and watch the entire video. Thank you so much.